Neverland by Andrea Stewart. He is sitting in his home office in shirt sleeves, flipping through a business plan. A financial talking head mouths words on a silent large screen TV. Stock market figures scroll and blink. The phone rings and he answers it.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know you don't like it when people call.
What's up?
I was wondering when I could see you. I mean, when we could see each other.
His response is slow in coming.
A week or two? I have a project.
I don't think I can wait that long.
He looks at the phone, irritated.
I miss you. This isn't working out, and I don't want it to end, but I can't live my life like this, broken into intervals. Are you seeing someone else? Are you just not into me?
I'm not seeing anyone else. I have to work.
In the last 4 months, we've seen one another an average of once every 3 weeks.
I've seen you when I've had time.
If I come over for dinner or take you out, it's like 2 hours, 4. How much interference could that possibly be?
Quite a lot. There's coordinating our schedules, getting ready, turning up, going home or sleeping over. I think we both like it better when we've both had enough time to really relax. Do you want to be scheduled like a dentist's appointment?
There's something wrong here. You say...
Let's hang out Tuesday.
In a week?
In 6 days. I'll be out of town for 4 of them.
Yes.
Do you want to come over for dinner? Around 7?
Yes.
They both wait for one another to say something. At last she speaks.
Okay, I'll see you then. I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
He is in the kitchen when the doorbell rings. He slides something into the oven, pulls off oven mitts, and exits the kitchen. He passes through the entry hall, opens the front door, and walks out. A moment later, he and she both enter the house and he shuts the door.
Buzzer's not working?
Sometime I push the button and it opens the gate, sometimes it doesn't. It's just easier to go down and open it rather than guess.
They walk into the spacious white-on-white living room. Floor-to-ceiling windows expose a deck and swath of clear sky.
Every time I come here, I feel like it's the last time.
You've been coming here for years now.
That's why I mentioned it.
Can I get you something to drink?
What are you having?
We've got Merlot or Manhattans, lime soda or water.
Merlot.
She walks to a sliding glass door, pushes it open, steps outside onto a deck that overlooks most of Los Angeles. An illuminated pool glows blue next to her. Tall papyrus, planted in pots large enough to hide Arabian boys, droop over the still water. She walks to the ledge of the patio and stares at the city. One by one, lights are twinkling on as the day dies. Far off, a sliver of sea sparkles in the setting sun. He joins her.
Here's your drink.
It's beautiful, this view. A living work of art. I've never asked, how long have you had this house?
This house, I bought it 5 years after I moved here. When I lived in New York, I felt that everyone was packed together, so in Los Angeles I bought a bungalow with a view. I picked this particular house because it's impossible to build below.
Smart.
There was some question about how it would fare in an earthquake, but we've had half a dozen since then and nothing seems to have shifted.
There's a moment of silence and then he continues.
But nothing lasts forever. Least of all houses.
She looks at him.
I'm sorry I called you the other day.
He takes a seat at a patio table near the pool.
You don't have to be.
I was in a state, but we wouldn't be meeting tonight if I hadn't.
I can't engage in that kind of doublethink. If I started calculating all the times we might possibly meet and all the actions that might possibly lead us to meeting...
I'm serious.
I am too. You wanted to see me and here you are.
I wonder, do you think we're moving toward anything?
His response is slow in coming and he doesn't look at her.
Like getting married?
Or living together, or seeing one another a couple of times a week and not a couple of times a month. It's been 2 years, going on 3. What are we doing? Do you know?
We're dating. And I don't know where we're going. I'm working.
Why bother to work if you're not going to end up with more than you already have?
What?
You have this house, this view, your business, which makes far more money than you spend. What are you working toward? Maybe I'm crazy, but you seem happier, much happier, after we spend time together, less guarded.
I'm guarded.
She stares at him.
Why are you making this harder?
She looks towards the city again. After a moment, she shakes her head, speaks as if to herself.
How can I not know where I am after 3 years?
I thought you said it was 2.
If we're starting from the very first time I met you, when you were still seeing Linda.
Ah, that wasn't a date.
Well, good, because that would make you a 2-timer, and I hate that.
He waits, but she says nothing.
Shall we eat out here?
She says nothing for a beat, then looks out at the lights again.
That would be nice.
Help me set the table.
They rise and walk back inside the house. She returns in a moment carrying plates, knives, forks, napkins, candlesticks. She lays them out on the table as he carries out a serving tray filled with homemade chicken fajitas and warmed corn tortillas. He places the tray on the table, pulls out a lighter, and lights the candles.
There's chocolate cake for dessert.
From your favorite bakery?
I don't understand how the deli manages to come up with the best cake in town.
They seat themselves and start to eat.
How's work been, for all the fuss we make about it?
I have some great projects to fund. I'm getting paid, well paid, and I like it when both those things are true.
You're traveling. That's newish.
It used to be I was always on the road. Stopped for a while, but big projects, always follow the money.
Why?
Because that's what you have to do.
He waits.
And you?
Same. Everything is in town. I start around 9. I'm done around 7. I have time for lunch. Maybe that accounts for the mismatch.
Is there a mismatch? Really? I do enjoy spending time with you. Except the increasing amount of time that we dedicate to discussing why I don't spend all of my time with you.
Well, I'm miserable much of the time. When I don't hear from you for days or weeks on end, it is easy to realize I'm spending most of my time alone, unhappy, and waiting for you to contact me.
I rarely let you go a week without an email or a phone call.
Let's all study that sentence.
Let's not be an ass to the guy who cooked dinner in the hope that he'll see us more often.
I'm sorry. I have a lot of unhappy minutes. Bits of my life I'm never getting back.
You're exaggerating.
If you email or call, you have a response in minutes. You don't like it when I call, and you don't respond to most of the emails.
They're long. If I had time to respond to them, I'd have time to see you. I have to work. You understand that, right? Every deal I do is a dozen balls in the air, multiple businesses, multiple relationships, founders, investors, bankers. It's a high-wired juggling act. I work around the clock, and when my concentration slips, months, even years of hard work can become undone. People depend on me.
She says nothing for a long moment. Then,
well, I'm lost. I am completely at sea. Because I love every moment with you, and no one has ever called me clingy.
Even these moments?
I don't want to let you go. And I wish I could figure out how to live my life, but I'd have to love you so much less. I'd have to love shopping, and I don't know what. I want to spend my life taking care of you and being taken care of by you. And I can't tell if that's where we're headed. And I can't ask because I'm afraid of the answer. Because even the little we have is so much better than the arid desert of my life without you.
Darling, you can ask. I just don't know. I don't know where my life is headed. I really love my work. I make buildings grow. I finance new technologies. I play a role in building the future, and I do it well. I protect the people that work with me, preventing terrible mistakes. I do love you. I say it all the time. I'm not lying. There's not some other girl in the wings.
But there could be. Because if I were gone tomorrow, in a couple of Tuesdays, there'd be another girl sitting here.
And you have a lot of other options as well. You're a beautiful, intelligent, whimsical girl. If we're hanging out for a couple of years, there's something lasting.
Linda thought that.
his eyes harden.
Why are we talking about Linda?
She was with you 6 years.
We broke up.
Because?
He takes a long time to respond.
I'm going to ask you, carefully, why you think it's any of your business why Linda and I broke up.
Because I think it was because she never saw you, and because there's always a girl like me waiting in the wings. She wondered if she was never going to get any closer to you than that girl I'm dating.
She did get closer. We lived together.
Why did you break up? What did she say at the time?
You know, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk at all. Stay here. I'm going to go do the dishes.
I'll help.
No, you stay here or go home.
Well, at least I can make you mad.
Well, there's never any question about that. I'm as human as you, and I feel just as much pain.
He rises, collects plates, carries them back into the house. She blows out the candles. After a long beat, she rises, picks up the candlesticks, and takes them into the house. She puts them on the coffee table, then moves to stand in the doorway of the kitchen. She watches him finish rinsing the plates. As he begins putting them into the dishwasher, she speaks.
I'm sorry.
He says nothing.
I love you very much. Tried as it seems, every hour we're apart is agony. A lamentable difference in our wiring that means I spend a lot of time hurting, and you don't.
These conversations come along about the time women break up with me or I break up with them. I wasn't aware we were at this point.
Do you usually string girls along for longer?
He looks up.
You can go.
I'm sorry. I'm distraught. I don't want to go. I love you. I want to figure out how I can stay. Every minute we're together is heaven, and every minute we're apart is hell. You seem to think I can get along with so little, and I love you so much that I've tried. But it's like not enough food, or starving for oxygen. It is so little of me really enough?
He continues to load the dishwasher slowly, methodically. When he speaks, he does it without looking at her.
I've tried going the other way. In a weak moment, the girl moves in. She's around all the time, touching me and disordering things in an attempt to carve out a place for herself in my home. It does become our home, except that I'm not happy in it. And then I have no home. I've lost where I live. Then comes the bloody and painful extraction of a girl who loves me and who thinks she lives here.
You're wired to be alone.
And it's not like the girls...
I'm not a girl.
You brought up Linda. You defined yourself as part of a class.
He waits for her to say something else, and when she doesn't, he continues.
And it's not like the girls are happy when all's said and done. They're walking on eggshells every minute in my house, desperately unhappy and appropriately fearful that what I most want is them gone.
There is a long silence.
So, what are we going to do?
He closes up the dishwasher, dries his hands, and walks to her.
I don't know. I do love you. I don't want to let you go. I don't know what would work.
He kisses her and they embrace. The next morning they sit next to one another on the couch eating scrambled eggs and toast.
You could live at my house. Keep this place as a refuge.
Thank you. I don't know if you'll be happier with that. I'm always here. My stuff's here.
You could put some of your stuff at my house.
She waits.
I don't want it to be over yet.
I know.
Is it?
Only if you want it to be.
Only if I want it to be. You're ambivalent?
I don't know if I can meet your needs, and I don't want to try again what's never worked before. If you have new ideas, I'd love to hear them.
He waits.
We spent the whole night making love. I think you love me. I know you do.
I think it's written all over me. But I don't want what you want, and I don't think I ever will. I don't know if it's wise to wait for something to change, but if we break up, there's no hope of finding a solution.
I'm not that hard to please. I want what most people want.
I know.
He waits for her to say something. She remains silent.
Maybe we'll think of something.
She rises.
I can't believe I have to go to work.
She looks at her watch.
Oh, I'm already late.
He rises as well, walks her to the door.
I'll call you.
She kisses him.
I like that you think you will. I love you very much. I love you with my whole heart.
He kisses her one last time.
Right, get out. Make sure you close the gate hard.
She leaves, and he closes the door. As he walks back toward the living room, he pulls a phone out of his pocket and dials.
Oi, look. I called you.
It doesn't count.
If you want to make a go of this, I think it should.